was conducted with my faculty advisor, Dr. Kaylee Martin, at the University of Montevallo through the Trio McNair Scholars Program. This is All the Rage, exploring rage-bait marketing in cosmetics on social media. So this research will cover what is rage-bait marketing, why is it used, is it effective, and what are the psychological impacts that it has on consumers. My inspiration for this topic was I'm very deeply involved in the cosmetic community as a makeup artist, and I get a lot of rage-bait marketing videos on my feed, and they're not effective for me, and I've spoken with my colleagues and they're not effective marketing tactics for them either, so I wanted to investigate on whether this is a national issue that we're having. So let's look into the past, present, and future of cosmetic marketing. Primarily in the 1900s, it was door-to-door marketing, and it was newspaper or magazine sales, word of mouth, and now we're moving into those digital newsletters, digital coupons, and now apps, personalized recommendations, and push notifications, as we've mentioned before. Now, where does rage-bait come in? So in 2002, rage-bait was first coined on the internet in reference to bad driving habits. They stated that it feels like people drive poorly on purpose to rage-bait you or to incite anger. And so this translates into content specifically designed to make you angry enough to engage. So what are the psychological impacts that we've reported so far? Rage-bait content has shown to target the same neural pathways as food, sex, and addictive drugs, making it incredibly difficult for one to scroll away. Additionally, long-term exposure is linked to chronic anger, anxiety, exhaustion, and cynicism. So that leads to my research questions. Is rage-bait as a marketing tactic effective for brands and cosmetic brands and influencers? And additionally, does it have any psychological impacts on consumers? So let's talk tactics. Our neutral stimuli is pretty basic. She's showing texture by picking up the product. She shows it to the camera, places it on her face gently, and very basically shows the functionality of the product. However, in the rage-bait stimuli that we presented, she's playing with the product with her hands, smearing it on her face, pouring it out, and technically, she's doing the same things. She's showing the texture, she's showing product function, she's showing the color, all of these things, but she's doing them in two very deliberate ways. And so that leads into my survey design. This is a quantitative experimental survey where participants were divided into two groups, our control and our experimental group. The control group viewed our neutral stimuli video, and the experimental group viewed the rage-bait stimuli video. Both videos were the same influencer, same brand, same product functionality. The only difference was the stimuli. So as for our data collection, the survey was created through Qualtrics, and it was published on Cloud Research, which is a paid research platform, and then it was also pushed out through my own personal social media and through my faculty mentor social media. Participants completed a 10 to 15 minute survey that assessed perceived rage-bait intent, social media marketing effectiveness, influencer authenticity, and psychological impacts. We also recorded basic demographic information as well as social media use. For our data analysis, we used Jamovi statistical software and ran Cronbox Alpha on all of our variables, and all came back as acceptable to excellent reliability. These variables were used at our independent sample t-test as well as our Pearson correlation analyses. So as for our demographic, it was primarily white women, but as for age, it was quite diverse. From 18 to 35 was our age range, and it's pretty well split, I would say, throughout those. We also collected our top social medias, which were TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, and Facebook. And at least 85% of all of our participants followed beauty content creators, purchased beauty products within the last 12 months, and additionally considered purchasing or purchased products from or because of an influencer. Additionally, 48% reported using 3 to 4 hours of social media per day, with 8% reporting up to 7 hours per day. So were participants able to distinguish rage-bait marketing content and non-rage-bait marketing content? Yes, participants were able to recognize the difference between these two videos, and our experimental manipulation was successful. So as for my research questions, is rage-bait marketing an effective marketing strategies for influencers and cosmetic brands? There was no significant difference found between the effectiveness of rage-bait marketing versus non-rage-bait marketing. And the same goes for the psychological impacts. There was no significant difference in negative or positive psychological impacts between rage bait and non-rage bait stimuli videos, which is a little weird. Absolutely no significant difference in either direction for either option. So we did a correlation analysis and found that despite these lack of significant results in the t-test, content that was viewed as having more rage bait qualities also was viewed as less effective marketing, less authentic influencers, fewer positive psychological outcomes, and greater negative psychological outcomes. Additionally, influencers that were viewed as more authentic were also perceived as more effective marketers and generated more positive psychological impacts. Therefore, the more participants believed that the content was using rage bait tactics, the less they liked it, trusted it, and viewed it as effective marketing. So what happened here? I personally believe that these kind of diverse results that we got here between the t-test and the correlation analyses come from the influencer that was used. The influencer that I pulled from was Michaela Nogueira, who's very well known within the cosmetic industry, and I would say that she has quite a controversial following. The people that love her, and the people that don't. And so I think that people going in may have had a preconceived bias that influences the way they responded. So if I were to advise someone to do this again in the future, I would suggest that they create their own stimuli. The reason I ended up choosing Michaela for my study was because when she creates these marketing videos, she creates them en masse. So she does 5 videos around on average per product that she does. So it was easy to find videos that were the same product but with different stimuli, because she produces 5 videos for the same product, each with a different marketing strategy. But as for the implications, rage bait may not be a reliable strategy for influencers and beauty brands, and consumer recognition of rage bait is increasing, which may reduce perceptions of influencer authenticity. Future research should examine whether repeated exposure to rage bait changes consumer perception over time, and whether this impact is carried throughout industries. Thank you.